as people continue to mourn hate, anger, and loneliness. Some of what we are learning about the gunman from his writings. I'm now joined by Ron Martinelli for more on the shooter's motive and mindset. He is a criminologist who runs a forensic consulting company. He asked the victims about their religion. What does this tell us about his motive, do you think?
Well, that tells me that that might be a source of what we would refer to as his psychological pain. And so there has to be a connection between the religion and whatever disenfranchisement that he was experiencing, any hate towards religion that he was experiencing. Don't forget, the profile that I discussed earlier has actually come true on this killer. He's an isolated person. He's depressed. He's self-segregated. He had no real social network to speak of. Again, severe depression. And he was giving out many cues, verbal cues, communication cues in his posts, behavioral cues, and psychological cues that this was a very troubled man, what I refer to as a ticking time bomb.
He also was in the military for a very brief time, kicked out of basic training. You're talking to us about the cues. We don't know why he was booted out of boot camp. But do you think that there were cues along the way, you're mentioning them, that where people should have picked up on it, and what could they have done had they seen something and been disturbed by it?
Well, I go back to what we talk about when we talk about, terrorism, and this is not the type of terrorism I'm referring to. Just the slogan, if you see something, say something. And as a longtime forensic criminologist, I deal with these mental health issues. I deal with a lot of homicides. You will find out as they do the psychological autopsy that he provided many cues. I'm sure the military picked right up on those cues, and that's why they removed him from military service. They did not want to give this person a weapon or entrust him with any deadly force.
Do they have an obligation to try? What could they do, though, I guess, is the question.
Well, the military, unfortunately, has become, as we see now, has become so much more politically correct than military establishments of the past. But they knew enough within their own community to remove him for their community. Now, you understand, just based on his dress, he's wearing camouflage clothing all the time, he's wearing military boots. That was a source of pain for him that he was removed from the military. But he still clung to that fantasy of, having a military mindset, so to speak.
We know that he mentions another gunman, the guy behind the shooting of the two young journalists here in our area, just south of here in Virginia, the state of Virginia. Is there a copycat element to this? And does the fact that we're discussing this, do you fear that perhaps there's somebody else out there just like him who wants to follow in his footsteps?
Well, those are very good questions that you're asking me. Let me see if I can take them one by one. And by the way, I wrote about I've written extensively about ticking time bombs, and I also mentioned prior school shooters and the two journalists that were killed. Again, all by ticking time bombs. And, what I have to tell you is that, these people are amongst us. All right, we have ticking time bombs all around us, and what we need to do is figure out what precipitating event set this particular time bomb off. And people can prevent these things in part by proactively reporting them. I don't know if you're aware that not only did he post his intention to shoot up a school in the Pacific Northwest, but now I have actually seen posts today that were anonymous posts where people posted back to him actually encouraging him to commit a mass homicide, giving him advice on what weapons he should select and which ones he shouldn't, and how he should sequester the people together in order to kill the maximum amount of people. And I'm sure that is going to be something that the Federal Bureau of Investigations is going to look at as a federal crime, using the internet to encourage acts of violence.
I think that may be the most chilling piece of information we've gotten today. Ron Martinelli, thanks so much.